at Section 109 that has detailed sufficiently those conditions upon which a person can be declared, a person's seat can be declared vacant. I want to draw your attention particularly to Section 109, sub F. That sub F, as a matter of fact, reads in crystal terms that without just cause, assuming, let's say, a member of a House of Assembly shall vacate his seat in the House if, without just cause, he is absent from meetings of the House of Assembly for a period amounting in aggregate to more than 1/3 of the total number of days. Now, the question is, if you look at the circumstances surrounding the Martins-led House of Assembly, can anyone be reasonably concluding or reasonably stating that the actions of the State House of Assembly today, or the alleged House of Assembly led by Martins Amaehule, is constitutional and legal? My answer to that question is that the steps or the step taken by the Martins Amaehule-led House of Assembly today is against the law. And I must say that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is the ground norm that regulates every engagement and activity of all persons and authority. Which, if we put it differently, Martins Amaehule is a person, and the position which he allegedly occupies is authority. And by virtue of Section 1 sub 3 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is supreme to all activities or every other provision or act or law made by anybody, inclusive of any steps taken by the State House of Assembly. You see, the law is that if there is any act that is done contrary to the provisions of the Constitution, which I have read out here, Section 109 sub F, then that law shall, to the extent of its inconsistency, be declared null and void. Now, are you aware that ordinarily the position of whether or not these persons can still legitimately or legally be recognized as State House of Assembly members is a question that is pending before a competent court of law? Okay. By that I mean, yes.
Barrister Chioma Choko, yes, some lawyers who are not aligning with your thoughts or interpretation of what is happening have argued that the appeal court, gave some legitimacy to the Martin Amaehule-led assembly, and that's probably why they are acting, in the manner in this direction. What would you say about the Court of Appeal judgment? You and I have not spoken on that. What's your legal opinion of that?
Let me say that in as much as the matter is sub judice, there are certain comments that are not expected to be made either by members of the public or even as a lawyer who is talking from this my perspective. The truth of the matter is that the Court of Appeal is not the apex court. Okay. The Court of Appeal is an appellate court, but does not have a final decision-making body insofar as Federal Republic of Nigeria is concerned. There is a Supreme Court. There is the apex court, which is the...
Hello, are you there?
Now, are you with me?
I can hear you. Go ahead. I can hear you.
I'm sorry about that. Yes. Now, which is the Supreme Court? Which is the Supreme Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Where any party, for instance, feels aggrieved by the decisions of the Court of Appeal, the party has a constitutional right to appeal to the Supreme Court. And as of today, I'm aware that the other parties, the Okojombo-led House of Assembly, has gone to the Supreme Court even a few days after the judgment of the Court of Appeal was delivered. I am not saying, rightly or wrongly, that the decision of the Court of Appeal is wrong. No, I am saying that the Okojombo has led House of Assembly members have exercised the right of appeal by launching their appeal or lodging their appeal into the Supreme Court. So it is for those who are aggrieved, not even to tamper with the rest, not even to tamper with the subject matter that is before the appellate court. It is for them to be patient. If at the end of the entire adjudication, the Supreme Court says that the decisions, the actions, the steps taken by Okojombo is to the extent of maybe its consideration null and void, then you can take certain steps. But again, I have a worry. Who is aware, or are you aware, whether amongst the several many questions that have been placed before the Court of Appeal or the Federal High Court, which is the judgment delivered by Honorable Justice Omotosho, that one of which questions was even the determination of the defection of the 27 House of Assembly members. These are issues that we are not aware of. Assuming but not considering, that issue was not amongst the issues that was even brought before the Court of Appeal. How then can a party that is before a court be taking steps to declare vacant the seat of an assembly member that was elected by a particular constituent, and that the Constitution has made that means and processes and procedures upon which such a person's seat can be declared vacant? To the best of my knowledge, what I can advise Martins Amaehule-led assembly today is that patient. Hello, sir.
I can hear you. You said there should be patient.
Now, It is be patient. These persons have actually lodged an appeal at the Apex Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They should be patient. If the Supreme Court comes up tomorrow.
All right, I guess.
If the Supreme Court comes up tomorrow and declares them the winners, or grants all their entire reliefs that have been sought or that were sought at the Federal High Court, then they can now go back and consider if one of those questions were whether or not the leadership of the Oko Jumbo was right, and then the Court of Appeal determines it, then they can celebrate and take any steps. But as of today, what the Constitution says is that if there are no justifiable reasons for which such a person or such a member can absent himself from sittings, then you can take steps. But as of today, I am cocksure and I'm aware that the reasons for which Oko Jumbo's led assembly is operating is on the premise of the defection that occurred on the 30th day of October 2023.
Now, let's go with the assumptions now, right? You've said, assuming the court, the Supreme Court rules in favor of Martin Amaehule, can the Victor Oko Jumbo faction argue in court that the justifiable reason was the back and the forth, all of the court cases characterized in the House of Assembly? Can they argue, and would the court, in your opinion, rule in their favor?
Let me get your question crystal clear, because I feel it's twisted. Come back again, please.
So, assuming, you were assuming not too long ago that the Supreme Court rules in favor of Martin, right? Can the Victor Oko Jumbo assemblymen argue that there is, a justifiable reason why they have been absent from plenary, which is the back and the forth? Okay, go ahead.
Of course, clearly, there are issues. In fact, the mere fact that they even lodged a petition, a case, a claim at the Federal High Court justifies the reasons upon which Oko Jumbo's led House of Assembly operates.
Okay.
It shows that there is a dispute in the House of Assembly. So it justifies that cause. Simply put, that the only reason for which they are functioning is because there is a cacophony and brouhaha in, put in parentheses, the single House of Assembly, as it were.
Okay. So INEC, in your opinion, will not go ahead to be conducting by-elections, like,
Let me even say that it is also an error, and I feel it's a step in the wrong direction, because prior to this time, if you look at it, I think they were particular as to the nature of the reasons for which they were for which they declared the 4 members of the House of Assembly seats vacant. Now, one of the reasons they give is that a Right Honorable Edison could not avail them with sufficient facts and reasons, or did not write to the proper authorities as at the time was defected. Now, let me say this. As at the time Right Honorable Edison defected, he made it clear.
No, he did not defect.
INEC. He wrote to INEC. He wrote to INEC.
You mean resign? When he resigned?
Yes, resign. Very good. Resign from the State House of Assembly.
Okay.
He wrote to INEC stating his reasons for his resignation. And then at the same time, resigning from the position of the House of Assembly, and then urging INEC to conduct the election and even fill his own position. Now, what it means is that responsibility now shifts to INEC originally, and no longer on the State House of Assembly, as it were. It is only after the decisions of the Supreme Court come out, maybe in favor of Martin Amaehule or the otherwise, who knows? That Martin Amaehule can now come back to say, oh, the steps taken by Right Honorable Edison was wrong. The steps taken by Oko Jumbo was wrong. But as of today, there is a dispute that is pending in the court. Until those issues are resolved either ways, none of these parties enjoys any right to even carry out such exercise or power as of today.
All right. So let's extend it to the executive arm of government, because part of resolutions reached at plenary today had to do with giving another window, another opportunity to the governor to present the budget. Once again, preempting the case at the Supreme Court.
I'm
going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. However, yes. I'm looking at it from, the angle of impeachment, which of course has characterized the political imbroglio in Rivers State. Can the current House, you've just said, they have to wait for the Supreme Court. They cannot do anything to, each side now cannot do anything to the other, right? Now, the question is, can Martin and co impeach the governor or start an impeachment process against the governor as it stands?
It is correctly, as of today, it is correctly incorrect to state that Martin Amaehule-led House of Assembly enjoys the constitutional right to impeach the governor. This matter is sub judice.
Okay.
This matter is pending before the Supreme Court.
Okay.
I think I will advise them. I think they are jumping the gun. They may enjoy such right tomorrow constitutionally. Yes, the Constitution has given them the powers to impeach if the governor goes against the provisions of the law. But if you look at the actions of the governor, ordinarily assuming the assembly.
Sorry, I would have to quote you. I do have a commercial. Really, apologies for that. Okay. But when we come back, we'll talk some more. Please do stay tuned.
It's okay. It's okay, Sam.
Info. We'll be right back. You will agree with me. The truth.
quickly take a look at the headline news. Martin Amaehule-led Rivers Assembly declares seats of pro-Fubara lawmakers vacant. Rivers Commissioner says contesting the 2024 budget a waste of time. Chief Judge grants pardon to inmates at Port Harcourt Correctional Facility. Ogun State says it is not challenging constitutionality of EFCC in Supreme Court. Federal government says UK did not endorse Sunday Igboho's petition for Yoruba Nation. National greed collapses again. Senate asks Libya to apologize to Nigerian government. Nigeria's inflation rises. On the foreign scene, early voting begins in crucial U.S. swing states of Georgia. Details in the 6P bulletin. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I am Kalada Korubat. But conversations continue. Just stay tuned.
This is Hard Facts.
All right, thank you very much for staying tuned. I still have Chioma, Choko, Esquire at the phone. We're looking at the same issue. Martin Amaehule declaring the seats of pro-Fubara lawmakers vacant. Is it possible? Is it feasible in the eye of the law? That's what we're looking at. And I'd like to get your thoughts in a bit. But welcome back, Chioma, Choko. It's good to have you.
Thank you, my dear brother.
All right. So you were telling me your thoughts on the issue if, the Victor Okojumbo-led assembly can argue in court that, see, this is the justifiable reason, or this is the reason why we did not attend plenary, and if it would hold water. Let's continue from where you stopped, please.
Okay, I actually stated that the actions of these persons are based on the political brouhaha which has bedeviled the Rivers State House of Assembly from the 30th day of October to date. So for me, I feel hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. There is no reasonable person that would believe that these persons haven't pinched their tent with the governor of Rivers State would still associate in the same House of Assembly with Martin's Amaehule-led assembly. Their actions are predicated upon the issues that it's not pending before the Supreme Court. So until that issue is resolved, and if it is resolved in favor of Martin Amaehule, they still have a very reasonable grounds to come back to the State House of Assembly under the leadership of Martin Amaehule. That's if the court affirms. But if the court does not affirm, then what we now have to consider is the legitimacy of the defection of the 27 House of Assembly members. As of today, there is nothing to worry about. Everything is in a perfect shape.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, Barrister Chioma Choko. It's good to always have you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you.
All right. Okay. For those of you listening, I would begin to take your thoughts. I also would like to connect to another in-house analyst, a legal professional living in Jamala. I would connect with him in a bit, but let's get your thoughts. For those of you on Facebook, go to the comment section under the live stream. Let's get your thoughts on WhatsApp as well. I read all of the comments. Quickly, we'll talk with Levin, and once I'm done talking with Levin Jamala, then I take calls and contributions to that effect, right? Okay, so let's take a listen. I'm trying to connect with Levin now, but while I'm trying to do that, I'm going to read this message. Where is it now? It says, "Greetings, Canada. By the provisions of our groundum, Edison Eye was never a speaker and cannot have declared the seats of the alleged effectees vacant. Besides, INEC did not recognize any letter from Edison Eye or Okojumbo as declared by INEC. But Canada, let's refresh our memories briefly. Edison Eye announced himself speaker between 30th October 2023, while Honorable Master... I can hear you. Just stay on the line, please. But Canada, let's refresh our memories briefly. Edison Aye announced himself Speaker between 30th October 2023, while Honorable Martin Amaehule and others were alleged to have defected to the APC around December 2024, meaning Edison Aye declared himself Speaker before the issue of defection arose. So at what time did Edison Aye meet the constitutional requirements of Section 92, subsection 1 and Section 96 of the 1999 Constitution as altered to be Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly? People are free to continue on the path of emotions, but their eyes go clear. Honorable Martin Amaehule remains the Speaker of the House of Rivers State House of Assembly, and all actions taken by that assembly are valid and legal. Emi Fiaga with that one. All right, welcome, Living Jamala Esquire. It's good to have you. So you've been following the show right from the 4 o'clock hour. You already know some of the questions I want to ask, so let's quickly get your thoughts because time is fast spent. Let's get your thoughts then.
Canada, I want the legalists as to whether or not Martin Amaehule is the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. That is pending before the court of law. And there being subjudice, I do not have the right to comment on it. But first, let's assume that considering that House of Assembly is properly constituted. My friend God's power, Bule, made emphasis on Section 109, subsection 1F. But I think he deliberately, maybe for the purpose of shelling out a line of thought, refused to lead credence to Section 104 of the 1999 Constitution. And Canada, if you permit me, I will read. Section 104 of the 1999 Constitution that talks about sitting. The House of Assembly shall sit for a period not less than 181 days in a year. Now, a community reading of Section 104 and Section 109, subsection 1F, that talks about the House of Assembly having the right to declare a seat vacant of a member upon his absence from the proceedings of the House, accumulative of 1/3 of the number of days that the Assembly ought to sit in a year. The issue as to whether or not these set pro, if they call it pro, Fubara lawmakers have been absent from the sittings of the House dates back to 11th of December, thereabout, October, thereabout. Now, if you calculate from 11th of December till now, Canada, we do not need a professor in mathematics or in statistics to tell us that the Assembly is not even up to a year. I'm assuming without considering that they have the period from October till now is 1 year. Can Amaehule's faction furnish the public with the record of sitting that they have sat up to 181 days, and that these said lawmakers have been found wanting with respect to Section 109, subsection 1F, that was being absent from the proceedings of the House in a period not less than 1/3 of 181 days. If that answer is given in the affirmative, then whatever the Amaehule faction have done with regards to today's proceedings, declaring the seats of these lawmakers vacant will be valid in law.
Okay, now let's do the let's do the mathematics, please. Yes. 180 days is basically 6 months. So can we say since December, the Martin Amaehule
Canada is 180 days is not calculated as per the number of months, as per the number of times they sat.
Okay, all right. I was going to go to that. I was going to say and ask, can we then argue if Martin Amaehule's led assembly have sat for 6 months? That's what I was going to ask before.
Period of days, accumulative 181 days. Assuming we do not have all the records of the number of days that they have sat. Canada, it is obvious even to the blind and the deaf that this said assembly headed by Amaehule have not even sat up to a period of 30 days, accumulatively, right from when the embargo started, sometimes in late 2023. And therefore, that is why I said, on this ground alone, the public can judge the actions of these lawmakers. I've heard my learned brother, Chioma Choko, the very brilliant one, also listen to my friend, God's Power. But for you to have a clear understanding, God's Power refused to make reference to Section 104, and you cannot read Section 109 in isolation without reference to Section 104. Section 109, subsection 1F, has its footing on Section 104. 109.1F said at least a period of 1/3, and the calculation of the Constitution from the valid number of times an assembly will sit in a year is made reference to Section 104.
All right. And
so how can you then come to justify that the actions taken today by these said men is protected by law?
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Living Jamala. Just stay on the line. Let's take some calls. We'll get back to you briefly. 0817-923-0002 is the call number, the first one. The second call number is 0817-923-0003. The third call number is 0817-923-0007. At WhatsApp, for WhatsApp messages, 0809-030-6416. Let's get your towards loud. This one says, I laugh out loud that absentees declaring duly a recognized Edison Ye now Okojumbo speakership vacant, not minding Section 109 subsection 1G that had openly sacked them from their seats. Kevin Frank. This one says, my name is Engineer Joe. People just choose to live in delusion because Edison Ye was never a speaker because Justice Umoto Show had said so. Again, the Court of Appeal 2 has affirmed Martin as the authentic member of the Rivers State House of Assembly. And this one says, Patrick Amadi from Afara Eche, the 4 House of Assembly members declared vacant, problem deal. Patrick Amadi. All right. This one says, FG should stop all these gentleman politics and use his office or give chance the same power. I don't get this, but you say, you say Governor Similar Ivora should stop all this gentleman politics and use his office to give chance. The same power was the same Mr. Wike, FCD minister, had before, and he used it well. He should stop all this push and start governance. Wariboko beat you with that one. This one says, when all this is over and Martin is declared authentic speaker by the Supreme Court, I'm hoping the governor is rightly impeached. The next governor or acting governor immediately put into effect all the altered employment processes. That will be very welcome, Frank. Okay, Frankie, that's entirely your opinion. This one says, please ask your guest if he's aware, as of today, the assembly clerk recognized by law is the clerk loyal to Martin Amaehule, and if he's aware of this, what is the legal basis? Does the clerk loyal to Okojumbo function as a clerk? And ask him if he's aware that INEC replied Edison a year's letter referring him to direct his letter to the appropriate authority of the House, which is the clerk. Finally, if as of today, going by the Federal High Court and as affirmed by the Court of Appeal recognizing Dr. Amadi as the clerk, is it appropriate to say whatever thing the clerk loyal to Okojumbo, Dr. Gillis West is doing is the House of Assembly is a nullity? But your question is not comprehensible. I think you should rewrite it or something. But this one says, do you now see the reason why I said the only solution to the Rivers State legislative imbroglio is a political solution? My principal, Senator Magnus Abe, once told us that in politics, when you want everything, you can also lose everything. Politics is a give and take business. Seeking legal redress can go either way, and now it's not looking good for the Okojumbo-led assembly. In all, this year tussle is hampering on development. Let all parties yield to the voice of reasoning. Their fight does not have the interest of the Rivers people at heart. Enough of it already. Martin remains speaker as of today by virtue of the position of the appeal court judgment. Comrade Clinton. All right. from Bori there. This one says, Edison A has already written to INEC to conduct an election to fill vacancies in the River State House of Assembly, but INEC was waiting for all the litigation to be over. Ogo Jono Justice. And this one says, ask your guest when he thinks the Supreme Court can give verdict on this matter. It's not the Supreme Court, so I don't think he should be able to say when the Supreme Court can give verdict on the matter. But I'm going to take a call or two. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a call or two. Let's get your thoughts on some of these issues. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. Let's get your thoughts and let's get talking. While I'm waiting for your calls to come true, I'm going to read from Facebook. On Facebook, Yobo Calvin Frank says, I laugh. Okay, I think I've read that. This one says, Barry Lebari says, fake, all is fake. Philip Chops Chimbuzo says, D speakers. Okay, we try to speak constructively. Let's not use insultive languages, right? Let's ensure that our comments are constructive. Remember, we're talking for development. So irrespective of what side you're on, let's talk for development. Okay. So Ada Jinye Bari Miema says, or is asking, do we have a court? This one says, it is illogical. That is sub judice until the matter is resolved at the Supreme Court, and in such action is null and void. Person we don't lose seat, they claim seat from person with his seat. All right. Entirely your opinion. Mfon Alexander says, okay, I think I love that. It is correctional incorrect. Okay. All right. Many comments therein, but I've got to go to the phone lines right now. Let's see what we have. I've got Dame Bo from SAS Road. Dane, good afternoon to you. Welcome on the show. What is on your mind, please, Dane Bo? Let's talk.
Yes, Canada, good evening.
Yes, greetings.
I'm glad I had a couple of my learned friends who aired their views on the matter. Canada, the problem we have in Nigeria is that, especially our political leaders, many of our political leaders just come to public and do whatever they feel they should do in flagrant abuse of the Constitution and the law. That is what for my learned friend Choko and the last gentleman who spoke. These things that they are doing, my learned friend Amaehule-led, I also listened to him, did not make reference to Section 104 like the last.
By Stalin Jamala, yeah.
And the Amaehule-led assembly cannot, relying on Section 109 of the Constitution, carry out their respective acts, and then without regard to Section 104 of the Constitution, which is a foundation, of course, to whatever they are supposed to do. So to that extent, whatever they have done is null and void by virtue of the provisions of Section 1 sub 3 of the Constitution. Whatever they have done is null and void. I'm not going to, like my other friend said, comment so much on their status, whether they are still House of Assembly members, because that's sub judice. But for this action, we don't need a soothsayer to come to tell us that the House has not started for the number of days required under Section 104 of the Constitution. So whatever they have done in non-compliance with that mandatory provision,
right,
to know is a nullity. And so they are just wasting their time.
All right, then.
Thank you so much.
All right, Dane Bo, thank you very much. I guess you're also a lawyer, Esquire. Susie Alakaya, welcome. Susie from Alakaya.
Yeah, Canada, I greet you.
Yes, welcome. Let's get your thoughts.
Well, I have listened to the three lawyers from Amaehule-led, Chioma, Choko, and Living Jamala. Let me take on part of Living Jamala. The last time I checked, I want to also assume that Living Jamala is not a member of the House of Assembly to know the number of days that Martin Amaehule must have sat for you to do mathematics. So if you go into that particular logic, Living Jamala will be wrong in his assertion
But Susie, you don't need to be a member of the House of Assembly. I mean, by rough estimates, you can assume. I mean, in February of the back and forth Abdul Accord and the assembly member had been distributed. So that's why when we did the calculation, 186. So we say that's a good thing, right?
If I do not listen to these children today, how am I supposed to assume that you are the one here talking on hard facts?
Oh, interesting.
I shouldn't know. I wouldn't know that you are the one because at times you are not also on this particular platform. You are somewhere somebody representing you and all of that.
Okay.
That is my logic. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that one of the major problems that has put even the governor of Rivers State into this particular problem is that some of the lawyers that are working for him, or that are talking for him, don't even tell him the real truth. They hinge the argument on Section 109. Not due whatsoever. Do you know that by when he came on air, actually cited Section 4 that Ndamani is talking about, but he don't mention Section 4. He actually talked about what that Section 4 is all about, because in law, it's either you are quoting that particular section verbatim, or you are quoting what the section actually talks about without the numbers of the section, what it is.
Right.
That is one thing I know introduction.
Right.
So for me, I believe that by the time the law will be wrong, so even assume that by the time does not have the jurisdiction or the legal backing to have stayed the way it is now.
All right.
Even though the matter is the Supreme Court and all of that, but I believe that it takes that of course I think I have said that much
All right, Susie, I've got to go. Thank you. I've got 2 calls. I've got to try squeeze that in 3 minutes. Braid, welcome. Let's get your thoughts quickly.
Greetings to Mr. Batubo.
Yeah, quickly, please. Go ahead.
Yes, I do not know whether the judges, did they really pass through the law school?
No, let's not. Braid, you know the rules. We're not going to do that on the show, please. It's not.
Sorry.
This is not a platform. All right.
But now, if you look at the lawyers, the trained lawyers that are speak very intensively, all of them, they are quoting Section 104, they are quoting Section 109, they are also quoting Section 143. And now, what are we really pushing about? Is there really a defection? Why up to this moment the court has not come up with that? And also, secondly, I feel that Martin Amaehule has gotten judgment at the appeal court. Before now, the the governor team is now appealing. Why is it that the governor side always wait? They push them down before they now struggle to get up. Does it mean that the governor side does not have a very strong, a robust legal team? If it doesn't have, I think he should be able to dissolve the one he has.
All right. I've got to go now, Braid.
Strong legal team that will be able to do the work for him.
All right.
Because what is happening here is a constitutional matter.
All right.
And once a constitutional matter is not going to be handled constitutionally, there is bound to be anarchy.
All right, Braid, I've got to go. I've got a commercial. All right.
The Amaehule-led assembly is now telling you that they are the substantive assembly, and Martin Amaehule has think about how.
I'm sorry, Braid. I've got to go. I've got a commercial. Leaving Jamala, please just stay on the line. When I come back from the commercial, we'll wrap things up. Thank you very much. Do stay tuned.